Hello everybody, Ken Hildebrand, Executive Artistic Director of Gallery 7 Theatre. I am here with performer Karen Street, who is in our next production of Murder on the Orient Express, adapted from the Agatha Christie story by Ken Ludwig. This is a brand new adaptation and we're looking forward to seeing it on our stage starting this late January. Karen, thanks for joining me here.
My pleasure.
Now, this is not your first Gallery 7 show. You've done what? Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat? What else?
And Wrinkled in Time,
Right.
also directed by Kate. And Trying, I was the understudy for Trying.
That's right. Good. Okay. So welcome back.
Thank you.
So
Glad to
have
be
you
back.
Yeah, good to have you back on the stage. So tell us a little bit about the character you're playing in this play.
I am playing an 80-year-old Russian princess. So
Cool.
I don't think you can get much more of a stretched character for myself, physically at least. So yes, she is on the train on her way to Paris, and she's enlisted the help of Greta, who is subbing in for her usual companion, travel companion, who has fallen ill.
Right. So tell us a little bit about the rehearsal process. How's it gone so far for you?
Very well. It's nice that the rehearsals are all kind of split up, and so you kind of only go in for if you're needed in your scenes. So it's kind of interesting, it will be interesting to watch the play because I haven't seen the rehearsals where it's just the other actors. So
Okay.
I have no idea what
Right.
they're doing or how their scenes are progressing or what's going on in their
Yeah.
scenes.
It's kind of like film, right? People
Right.
film those scenes and they don't see the film until actually the premiere.
Well, it's like the Marvel movies, right? The Marvel
Yeah.
movies, they only get their lines. They don't get any other people's lines.
Yeah,
so,
right. And they sometimes don't even know what their costumes look like until
No.
the final film.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
so interesting. Very cool. What do you enjoy most about the rehearsal process?
I love exploring, trying out new things. Kate's a great director, so she is a professor, so she tries to pull out different perspectives and different ways of approaching a scene. So kind of exploring and learning as well, learning different ways to say just, it could be 3 words,
Right.
and you could say it so many different ways and have different emotions and different outcomes, and yeah.
I probably shouldn't ask this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, and then we can cut it out if it doesn't actually work. Some people are planners, and then other people are the experienced one where they don't want to bother with the plans, they just want to go on the trip. You know what I'm saying? Some people just enjoy planning for the trip more. For you as an actor, do you enjoy the rehearsal process more than performances or the other way around?
I think I prefer the rehearsals because it does allow me to grow as a
Right.
person, right? So when you're performing, that's kind of like written in stone. Your characters, this is the line you say, this is how you say it, this is where you stand. But in rehearsal, you get to try different things and then see how the reaction is.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So having said that, what do you enjoy about performances?
I think it's just being able to show and express yourself in a different way. And a lot of times we don't get that opportunity. And so when you're performing, and it's not an ego thing, it's not like, oh, look at me. It's kind of like, it's like, hey, I can entertain you. And that feedback from the audience too,
Right.
I think it's very valuable for me as a performer. I love that feedback, and that's why I love live theater, because it's a two-way thing. It's not just, this scene, okay, it's a 3-second scene cut, and then we'll do something else. It's all inclusive. Right?
They're two very, very different experiences, both for the actor
Yes.
and for the audience.
Yeah, yeah.
I sometimes find it interesting when people compare stage plays to film or to going to
Oh,
the movie theater.
no.
And I'm like, you can't really
No
compare them.
comparison.
It's not a fair comparison because they really are two very different
Yeah.
experiences. I want to ask you this because we get this question from time to time, and sometimes we smile at it because we kind of feel like it's the least we can do as performers. But can you help us understand just a little bit more how you memorize your lines? Because I can appreciate why some people who don't do this are really amazed by that. Do you have some techniques that you use to memorize lines?
I think it's a lot of repetition. Having people help you is really important. And for me, being very physical as a person, like getting up and do the actions as you do the lines as well really helped me. In my last play with Trying, it was only a 2-person play, and it was half the script is my lines, right?
Yeah.
And it was so daunting in the beginning. I was like, how am I going to memorize
Right.
every single word of this? Word for word, you can't like ad lib either. So for me, it was just repetition, and then doing it with the actions, and then understanding why you're doing something also really
Right.
helps, and then understanding the character as well, because what would they say in a situation like this, right?
So it's kind of like learning these lines in a context.
Yes, for me. Yes.
Without taking away, because I'm with you on this,
Mm-hmm.
I've done a 2-person play before too, and it can be very daunting, and
Mm-hmm.
it can sometimes be the hardest work that you do.
Yeah, yeah.
And yet we still say this is the least we can do,
Yeah.
because we need to get that script out of our hands so that we can
Yeah.
really delve into the character, and as you say, really explore
Yeah.
explore the characters. What do you really like about Murder on the Orient Express? Is there kind of a couple highlights that you're really looking forward to having audiences experience?
Who doesn't like a murder mystery, though,
Right.
right? I mean, it's engaging, right? It's not something that the audience can just turn their brain off and just absorb. They have to be engaged and think as well. So with the Orient Express, I mean, you have so many different characters on it, and they're so different, and they're so guilty, all of them. Like who could have done it? Could it be this person, or could it be this person?
Right.
Well, they all had reasons, and then you start doubting yourself, and so it's very engaging.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, very cool. I think audiences are definitely in for a treat, because it's not actually a typical Agatha Christie story either.
Can't give too much away.
We don't want to give too much away, but that's what I love about this play, is that
Yeah.
I think people are in for a really unique experience. And if we gave too much away, our editor is going to cancel, going to wipe that out anyway. What do you enjoy about working at Gallery 7? Why do you keep coming back? You've done 4 shows and you keep coming back.
Yeah. It's a very inclusive theater company, and being a person that's a minority, I find that is very, very important for me to be able to have opportunities. And Gallery 7 has always been, oh yeah, it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, it doesn't matter what the script says, we'll cast you as the mother of someone who's totally different from you, or
Yeah.
I'm playing a 80-year-old Russian woman, like, why not? It's theater, so.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, and it's very supportive as well. Like, everyone's very professional. Everyone's like on a clock, and okay, now it's time. Now we're 2 minutes behind, and we got to get going. And I really like the flow of that, because I don't like my time wasted either.
Helps when you have a great stage manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I guess the other question I have for you is, why is live theater important? We talked about some of the differences between live theater and movies. To you, why is live theater important?
Live theater is important because everybody in the community can come together and do something as a community, as opposed to sitting at home, just you, or maybe just your family watching something separate. And to have that communal experience with someone, and to come out of the theater afterwards like, oh, how did you find that show? Oh, I found it, and everyone's laughing, which makes the next person next to you laugh even more, which makes the next person, which makes you laugh even more,
Yeah.
or so I find having that community and having that group experience and having connectivity with everybody you can't get that anywhere else.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Karen, thank you very much for taking some time to talk to me.
My pleasure.
About this. You can see Karen Street in our production of Murder on the Orient Express, running January 28th to February 4th. You can get information and purchase tickets online at gallery7theater.com, or you can give us a call at 604-504-5940. Hope to see you there.